Mm-hmm. So what do you think about the intellect and the imagination? Do you think they're linked? Like, you know, being capable of creating art and translating through the intellect and through the emotion?
It's based on the person. In my case, yes.
Talking about your case. As Leonardo.
We're talking about me, not the turtle, right?
Right.
Yes, I just made a joke.
Very good.
Now, in my case, yes, I was very... I had the intellect, but I did not have the social grace, as you call it. There were... So it was difficult sometimes.
It would seem that, you know, for you dealing with the people, the patrons, the commission, you would have to communicate with them on some level, you know, for them to hire you to do a job.
But there were some patrons who were like, you'll never work for us again.
And Francis, he was the last. Just out of curiosity. Was he the best patron? Or was he the perfect one for you in that time?
Was not the most extravagant, if that's what you're asking. But in the case of the best one for me, yes. Most patrons expected, well, some of them expected me to do the work, and they'd be like, there's our work, I'd go off doing this, chasing girls.
Well, was it expected of you to bring a vision to the table and them to just say, okay, we want you to paint a fresco on this wall and have it done by this time frame, and this is the theme?
Some of them, yes. Some of them just wanted me to do work just because they wanted to get something out of it. But they weren't putting, you know...
They weren't co-creating it, as we would call it.
Yeah.
Was that more difficult than the person who wanted you?
Yes.
Because if your visions didn't align up, then the work would be...
Would be subpar.
And you wouldn't want to do it.
No. Or when I do it, it would not be very enjoyable.
I found a quote online when I was doing some research. I don't know if this is pronounced right. Maybe you can pronounce this. These two words.
Sepia verde.
Meaning knowing how to see. Can you talk about that? Because that kind of struck me, and I'd like to seem to be a good topic to bring up. Because a lot of people don't know how to see. We can see in our eye, with our eyes. It seems to be bigger than that.
I have to equate this to sight does not equal seeing. Sight is the ability to be able to see your surroundings, yes, but seeing is actually focusing on it. And not a lot of people know how to see or listen.
So, Sapper Verde, I obviously can't speak Italian, but knowing how to see, is that something that you, something that was important in the delivery of your work, or?
Think of it like this, if you will. It takes certain ways on how to bring forth certain art, especially if you're not entirely familiar with it. So you have to, in a way, you have to see it in your mind's eye. Well, do you think any of the others who you equate in your history books, for example, do you think David would have been able to be created if they weren't able to see.
Yeah, that's a famous story about Michelangelo. So, seeing beyond sight, so seeing in the mind, is that pretty much what it means? Seeing in the mind.
Seeing, yes, but it's not really, actually being able to, well, I see the outline and I basically chip away what, I know it works for some people, but I don't really mean that literally.
Right. I kind of figured.
You have the sight of the world around you, but you do not see it because you are so narrow focused on your own problems. And you do not listen. You may hear, but you do not listen. And that's also another problem. I know everyone watching has to deal with those people that do not listen or do not see and can't be reasoned with because they are out of alignment with who they are or they just don't care.